is, of course, these students at colleges who are making it a point to not run away from fighting for this cause, even if it comes with great economic risk, which is essentially what the Zionist movement has used as a way to deal with dissenting voices against their genocidal project. But there are students that are out there that have made it a point to step up and say, no, we are not on board with this. We will not stand idly by as you continue to perpetuate this in our names. Remember, first genocide ever broadcast live. That's basically what's happening. So here's an example of one student at, I believe, GW, who spoke out against the genocide in Gaza.
For a year, we have watched a genocide be committed against Palestinians. I cannot celebrate my own graduation without a heavy heart, knowing how many students in Palestine have been forced to stop their studies, expelled from their homes, and killed for simply remaining in the country of their ancestors. The horrors unfolding halfway across the world may be easy to ignore for those lacking a moral backbone. For the rest of us, these atrocities cause us to take stock in our own complacency in the imperialist system. I am ashamed to know my tuition is being used to fund genocide. I'm going to say that again. I am ashamed to know my tuition is being used to fund this genocide. Every year, the cost of attending this university increases without a corresponding improvement in the facilities and resources provided to students, staff, and faculty. Instead, our money is put into the pockets of those who unequivocally prove time and time again they do not care about the students and faculty that create this university's prestigious university.
This is, by the way, her name is Cecilia Culver. Cecilia.
Colin, please check your phone. She's one of many. She's not alone. There are plenty of students that are out there that are.
I sent him the one that's Logan Rozos. Oh God, what was his name?
Rojas, maybe?
No, it's not Rojas. Rozos. Logan Rozos.
Okay. Well, I had just sent
the kid from NYU. Yeah, I saw somebody saying that. Yeah, her hands were shaking. Her hands were shaking. He was scared to death, and they did it anyway. That's courage. That's the courage, is that they were both terrified. And I don't know about the GW. I'm going to assume it was the same, that he had to have his speech approved. And so he submitted whatever he submitted for approval and then just said what he wanted to say. That's balls. That's balls. And I got to say, when I was that age, I don't know that I would have done that.
Well, remember, so much of the dissent that comes not from the students, but what's coming from the faculty in these major universities is that their endowments are being funded predominantly by those who are in favor of the Zionist state. And so as a result, they just tell them, if you do not get on board with what we want you to do, we will pull funding. That's it. It's that simple.
I'm freaking out a lot about this speech, honestly. And as I search my heart today in addressing you all, my moral and political commitments guide me to say that the only thing that is appropriate to say in this time and to a group this large is a recognition of the atrocities currently happening in Palestine. I want to say that the genocide currently occurring is supported politically and militarily by the United States, is paid for by our tax dollars, and has been live streamed to our phones for the past 18 months. And that I do not wish to speak only to my own politics today, but to speak for all people of conscience, all people who feel the moral injury of this atrocity.
I love that. I love that.
And I want to say that I condemn this genocide and complicity in this genocide. Thank you to the class of 22.
All people who have suffered a moral injury, because that's what it feels like for me. Is like, I can only say, like, it's constant. It's constant, this feeling. And yet I know I don't even feel anything compared to the people that are actually going through it. But the way that he described it is, yeah, I feel like I'm walking around morally injured.
Yeah, and even at a school like this, you could still hear the faint boos in the background.
There were a few in both of those schools. There were a few, but they were not the louder people. And
No.
These kids are awesome. So that's Logan and Cecilia, and they're holding up his degree right now. Now, whether or not they're able to really do that, or it's just for
on what grounds? You're hurting our financial.
He violated school policy. You know, the speech that he had submitted for approval wasn't whatever it is. They'll come up with their thing. But those kids, those are the people that I want to be working with. Those are the kids that, like, these are who we want to be producing. I hope their parents are very proud. Like, I'm that to me is very pleasing.